Yes, sir. It's good, family. Facebook family, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel. All right, so I just wanted to share this real quick. I don't want to keep you guys on here all day, but I just felt led to share this with y'all because I feel like once I became aware of this, things started to change, right? Obviously, I'm not in the best place where I'm not in my mansion or have a bunch of luxurious cars, but yet, okay. But this has definitely helped me since I became more aware of it. All right. So yeah, I just want to share this with y'all because I feel like there's somebody out there that's watching and you are just in a very low vibration, all right, very low state. Depending, I mean, and no telling what could have happened, right? You could have just went through a death in the family. You could have just went through maybe losing your job or breaking up with your significant other. All right, there's all kind of things that can happen to us, right, in life. It's just things that happen, right, that to test our faith. I believe that hey happened because God's trying to test our faith and see what our true character is. But yeah, once I started becoming more aware of this, things started to change in my life. Okay. And if you've never seen this chart before, then you're probably looking like, what in the world is this? Right. And you really don't know what to make of it, right? So I'm going to try to explain to you the best I can the way that my mentor explained it to me. Okay. And at the time when my mentor explained this to me, I was in a very, very low vibration, very low frequency. Okay. So keep that in mind. And some of you that may be watching this may be in a low frequency right now. But hopefully I can change that by the time that this live is over. Okay. So first off, I just thank God, right? I thank God that my mind was open at least enough to be able to accept this, right? Accept a new way. And I thank God for the person that shared it with me that was just obedient and listening to God, letting them know that they needed to share this. Okay, now I'm sharing it with you. Okay, so what you're looking at, this is what I call a frequency chart, right? Some people call it all kind of different things, um, consciousness chart, whatever, right? Emotional scale. There's a bunch of different names for it. For me, I call it the frequency chart because it explains what frequency you're on. Okay, so like I said, if you're going through something right now, most likely you're in a low frequency, right? Like shame. Shame because you may have done something wrong to somebody or to yourself, made a bad decision, and now you brought shame on your name, shame on the family, and you feel bad about what you did. So that's why you're feeling that shame, right? It's a good thing. It's a bad thing that you're in a shameful frequency, but it's a good thing that you're having that feeling. So if you didn't feel shame, then you're just a bad person, right? Because you don't have any feelings about what you did or any conscious about what you did. So that needs to be checked first, right? But if you are feeling shame about what you did, it's all right, right? It's a natural feeling, but it's not a good frequency to be on, right? That's one of the lowest feelings. And that's usually the feeling that we have right after we do something, right? Some people don't have any shame, right? But it's normally a feeling that you feel after you did something that you just aren't proud of, right? You aren't, it's a mistake. Maybe you hurt somebody or you hurt yourself, but you just feel shameful. Okay. Next one is guilt, right? Along those lines, right? You did something wrong and now you feel guilty about it. This is another very, very low frequency. All right. We got apathy, grief. If you just lost a loved one, you're definitely going to be in this type of frequency right now. Okay. And this is a tough one because we're all going to feel grief at one point in our lives. You're all going to experience, right? If you're still here, you're going to experience grief because people don't live forever. People do not live forever. So that means someone's going to die in your family. There's going to be a day that you die. People are going to feel grief from your death, right? The day that I die, people will grieve for my death. Day that people in my family, or somebody in my family goes before I do, I'm gonna feel grief over that, right? So that's also a low frequency, but it's a frequency that you're going to experience. Fear, right? We all feel this: fear of the unknown, fear of what other people may say, fear of uh, failing, fear of letting people down, right? But this is a low frequency. This next one is kind of confusing, right? It was confusing to me when I first heard it, but now I understand it. Now that I'm more experienced in this and I've been studying this for a little bit longer, I understand why desire is a low frequency, right? I felt like it would be a higher frequency because we all desire things, right? We desire to be better. We desire to have the things that we dream of, right? Better things, the luxury life, being able to travel, buy our family whatever we want to buy them. We all have desire, but this is a low frequency. This is lower frequency than anger, right? And that surprises me. So there's something about desire, right? It's good to want things, but it's not good to stay at that desire and feeling like you always desire something, right? Because then you'll never have it. All right. So also anger. This is why it's not good to be on this frequency. It's a very, very low vibration. It's not good to be angry at people, right? Yeah, people are going to do things that are going to make you angry. Everybody's not going to act the way that you want them to act. Things are not always going to go the way that you want to go. It's going to make you angry. People are going to do things to your loved ones. It's going to make you angry, right? But it's a low frequency. It's a low vibration. Pride, right? We've all heard this. Pride comes before the fall. Okay. Courage. Now we're getting at to the neutral area. All right. This is like the halfway point. This halfway point is where you are now. If you've never seen this, you're at the halfway point. If you're accepting this, right? You're neutral right now. You don't know if this is true, could be true, but you're curious now. And you're ready to start studying about frequency, law of attraction, things like that. But you're at a neutral zone. You're not too low, but your frequency isn't too high, right? You're just right in the middle. You're at that curiosity stage of becoming aware of this. Now you're starting becoming willing, right? After you're neutral, you become aware, then you start to become willing because you're starting to notice how things really work out in the world. And as your frequency is rising, you're starting to notice things start to take a change, right? So now you're more willing to be more open minded to this whole frequency thing, this whole vibrational attracting things to you that you think about, that you say, things that you see on a regular basis, right? You're starting to become more aware. And then after you become aware, you become willing. Now you're starting to accept this, right? So this may be the level that some of you may be on right now, right? You're starting to accept that there is a law of vibration, there's a law of attraction. Your frequency does determine what you're going to experience in life. Things that you think about, what you say, what you hear, what you see, that is attracted to you. Okay. So now we're starting to get into reason and love. Love is a very, very good frequency to be at, right? Very good frequency to be at. This is why they say love conquers all. Okay, because it's one of the highest frequencies. And when you're feeling just this feeling of love, right? You start to love nature. You start to have a love for just the smallest things, right? Animals, um, love for God, Jesus, people, right? We all know how it feels to not love people, right? You don't want to be around nobody. You don't want to be bothered, and most of the time you think that people just get on your nerves. You're experiencing a lot of hate. Okay, so it's very hard to get on this level of love, and because the reason why it's hard to get on this level of love is because there's hate out in the world, right? So when these hateful things happen, it kind of takes away your belief in love. It takes away it brings down your frequency. right? And all day, people are going to try to do things that are going to be trying to bring you off this love frequency, the love of other people, being joyful, peaceful, enlightened, right? People are going to try to do things that's going to bring your frequency down, right? The higher your frequency is, the better things that you are going to attract in your life, right? Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to experience none of these low vibrational feelings, right? These low frequencies. Yes, things are going to happen in our lives that are going to make us dip down into these frequencies, but we have to be aware and understand if we stay on these frequencies, right? These low frequencies of feeling shame, guilt, grief, fear, anger, pride, right? These lower frequencies, if we stay there, then that's what we can expect to attract. I can tell you another thing. The more that you stay on these low frequencies, the more contracted you are, right? The more stressful you are. So just like when you are in a high vibration, you're healthy, your muscles are expanded, you're very relaxed, you're calm, you're taking deep breaths, right? You're breathing correctly. When you're in a feeling of abundance and just money's flowing, everything's going good, right? That's how you feel. You're very expanded. When you are in these lower vibrations, you're very contracted, you're very stressful, right? And that tense, contracted stressfulness is just going to bring dis-ease. You're right. The higher the frequency, the more at ease you are, the more expanded you are, more comfortable. The lower your frequency, the more at dis-ease you are, right? Disease. The more you will attract that, being sick, going through stressful situations. That's all that you're going to continue to attract to yourself is the low vibrational circumstances. That's why you notice your body is starting to break down, or you're starting to get sick, or you're starting to not look as well because you're too contracted. Your body's too tense. You're too stressed out, right? So you have to expand. You have to get to a point where you expand. And the way that you're going to expand is by raising your frequency, raising your vibration. Now, how do we do this, right? How do we raise our frequency from these low frequency feelings, right? That's the $1 million question. How do you do that? And I figured out a way, just like some of you may have already figured out a way, right? But I have personally figured out a way. I know something to be true. It is scientifically proven. All right. And I want to let y'all know what I found out. I found out the fastest way to raise your vibration from these low frequencies to the higher frequencies is through gratitude, is through thankfulness, getting extremely, profoundly grateful for what you have, not only what you have, but what you will have, what you believe that you will have in the future. So, to believe that you already have something in the future, this is a very strong, strong feeling or a very strong emotion of acting as if it's already happening. You already have it. This is one of the hardest things to do, right? But this is how you accomplish that is by getting grateful for all the small things, right? So, exercise that I do in the morning, I get my pen and pad and I write down things that I'm grateful for. This is why on my lives, you guys always hear me talking about, oh, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, and this and that, right? And it sounds funny. It sounds funny, but it's doing something to my mind. I'm programming myself for gratitude. So when I do reach these low frequencies, right? And I'm going to experience these low frequencies. We're going to experience fear. We're going to experience times of anger, grief from losing loved ones, guilt, right? We're going to make mistakes. We're going to feel feelings of shame. But the more programmed you are of a higher frequency, right? Like gratitude, love, joy, peace, alignment. The more you're programmed to high frequency, when you do experience these low frequencies, you're aware, and it's a lot easier to pull yourself back up. All right. So you got to become aware of this, right? And I hope that you understand this. I hope that you see this video. I hope Facebook allows you to see this. I know they really don't want us to know about things like this. Right. But once you are awakened and you become aware of this, and you start to see that what you are programming yourself for, right? The feelings that you're having is all playing a part in what you are attracting to in your life. It's like you're like a magnet, right? The higher your frequency is, the stronger your magnet gets. How do you raise your frequency? More gratitude, being grateful, right? So the more you get grateful, more you get thankful, right? And you really are grateful, like saying thank you, Jesus, raising your hands, right? If you go to church, giving worship, giving praise, showing thankfulness, profound thankfulness that you are here, right? And experiencing life. You have your senses, you have your appendages, right? You'd be surprised. There are people don't have all their appendages. There are people that don't have all their organs working, right? If you're in the right mindset right now, be thankful. There are people out there going crazy as we speak, losing their mind, committing suicide as we speak. So thankful that you're in the right mindset. Thankful that you even have $1,000 device to get this information, right? And become aware. Like there's so much for you to be grateful for, right? Gratitude is free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's just a decision. It's a mind switch, right? It's a paradigm switch of what you choose to focus on. Are you going to choose to focus on what you don't have, right? If you're sick right now, you're focusing on that you're sick and that you don't have health in your life. Maybe you'll stay sick. You don't know if you'll get better, right? You're not being grateful. You're not choosing to focus on what you do have. Yeah, you may be sick, but you can still walk. You can still think. You can still see. You can still talk, right? So this is the way to raise your vibration, raise your frequency the fastest. This is what I found out. Once I started to get grateful and I started to focus on what I do have, and take my focus off what I don't have, right? Because before this, before I became aware, before I came awakened, right, I was focused on all the things I didn't have. I was focused on that I was sick. I was focused on that I wasn't making sales in my business. I wasn't making any money online. I was focused on failure, everything not going right. And that was attracting more, right? So what we focus on is what we are going to attract. If you focus on what you don't have, you're going to attract more of what you of not having whatever that you're focused on not having. If you switch your focus on focusing on what you do have, you get grateful. You start thanking God for health, even though you may not feel healthy. You start thanking God that you have money, even though you may not have any money in the bank. You start thanking God that you have a family, you have loved ones around you, even though you may be lonely right now. Right? You start focusing on what you do have, even if you technically don't have it right now, but you believe that you do. And more of that will be attracted to you, right? Read the Bible. It says it. In the Bible, it says it. Those that believe they don't have, more will be taken from them. Those that believe that they have, more will be given to them. Okay? So as you start to focus on what you do have, you start to get grateful. You'll start to notice your frequency start to rise, right? Start to get a little more love in your life. Start to get a little more joyful, a little more peaceful. Nothing like this frequency here, right? I haven't reached this frequency of just total enlightenment, 700 plus, but I heard it feels pretty good. I do believe I've touched this frequency multiple times, just feeling at peace, right? And there's no better feeling of just having peace of mind, feeling at peace of just your life, understanding, and just feeling safe, right? No chaos in your life, no drama. There's nothing like that feeling. So I can just imagine what enlightenment feels like. Right? Or I really can, right? I just that Being at joy and peace and love, these frequencies here feel amazing. And you'll start to notice as you start to raise your frequency up to the around these levels, 500 and above, you start to notice things start to change. And that's what I noticed, right? And that's what I'm here to do: awaken you, get you aware, and get you to raise your frequency, right? So that you can experience it too. I have touched these levels a few times, right? A few times. And there's nothing like being at that level of frequency. And now I have the blueprint on how to do it. Right. So now I just want to share it. And those of you that have already experienced this, right, and you've mastered just having keeping your life at peace, joy, and love, and you feel that feeling right now, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this really resonates with you because I probably sound like you, right? I probably sound like you when you became aware of this. And you started to use this and you started to take control of the variables, right? You started to program yourself to a higher frequency, right? And there's several different ways that you can do this, right? So one way is you can go to YouTube, right? Show you.
Shrinkflation hurts families.
Okay, you can go to YouTube and type in, just start typing in things about frequency, vibration, right? But one frequency I can refer you to is this 963 frequency. Okay. And this is one I listen to often.
The squeeze of inflation. You feel it
So you
paying
guys
bills,
listen.
filling up the tank, and around the dinner table.
All right, so you guys hear that? All right, so this is one frequency, right? You can just put this on instead of listening to those songs and other crazy stuff. Take about 30 minutes to an hour and just sit and listen to this, right? Or you can find one. Another way is listening to affirmations, right? So I type in millionaire visualization. Okay. So not one like that. I really don't like the ones with the music like that. Like this.
I am rich. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am a multimillionaire. I am so happy and grateful. Now,
All right. So a video like this, I sit down for it. Like this video is only an hour. You sat down and you watched a Netflix show, or if you watched a movie, then you can sit down and you can watch this, right? And this is how I figured out how to play with the variables. Okay, instead of watching that other stuff, substitute it for one of these videos with the affirmations or the binaural beats or the visualization videos. Sit down for a couple hours, right? If you can watch a 2 hour movie, you can sit down and do this, right? That movie is, I can tell you this, that movie that you like to watch, right? Them crazy movies are bringing your frequency and keeping it down. Certain shows out there are keeping you at a low frequency, keeping you at a low vibration. So why would you want to keep watching that stuff that's keeping you at low vibration? Like I said, as you're on these low vibrations, you're going to attract to yourself low vibrational circumstances. The higher your vibration is, the higher your frequency is, the better the things that you're going to attract to yourself. So why can't you sit and watch this for a couple hours? If you can watch something that's going to be bad for your frequency, why can't you sit and watch something that will be good and raise your frequency up? Okay. So this is another way to raise that frequency and program yourself at a higher frequency, higher vibration. Right, watching little videos like this, listening to binaural beats, the things you put in your ears, what you see on a daily basis, what you speak is going to program you. It is what it is, right? So I say all that to just end with this. It's ultimately your choice, right? And that's the crazy thing about it. After you become aware of this, you can't unknow this. So after this point, it's ultimately your choice of what you want to attract to your life. You know, if you stay on these low frequencies, these low vibrations, you're going to attract to yourself bad stuff. You're going to be contracted. You're going to be at dis-ease. You know what to do, right? You've been awakened now. You can either fall back asleep and stay asleep and continue to stay at low vibration frequencies, continue to have these low feelings, right? And allow people to bring you down off your frequency. Or you can choose to focus on what you do have. Get grateful, raise your frequency, start programming yourself, right? By watching these videos, listening to more positive things. After this is ultimately your choice, right? And you can't be mad for what you attract to yourself tomorrow, next week, in the future, because you ultimately, it was your choice. This is the beauty that we have. We have free will. You can choose to focus on what you want. You can choose to believe what you want. You can choose to believe what you have, whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. You can choose to create whatever you want. It's your choice, right? That's the beauty about it. That's the power that we got. We got the power to be able to choose what we want and direct our minds towards whatever it is that we want, whether it be positive or negative. You got the choice. We have the choice. We could choose. Nobody's forcing us to think negative and to focus on what we don't have. Nobody's so if we're choosing poverty, if we're choosing lack, if we're choosing to have less than, it was our choice. We have nobody to blame. And that's how God made it. It's so beautiful. It's so genius. It's just like God, something God would do, right? Give us the choice to be able to choose whatever we want to focus on and create whatever we want in our lives. It's amazing, right? So, yeah, you got the power, right? You got it in your hands. Now you're aware. Hopefully you find this video. If you do, just God bless you. And I love you. I speak and decree peace, love, joy, perfect health, all these good things I speak onto your life, and pray that you choose to believe it also. All right. So, yo, Noah got to hear Mr. Lifestyle Lifestyle. If you didn't know, now you know what I'm trying to do is grow. Like I always say, make the rest of it the best of it. And I'll meet you at the top because that bottom is way too crowded. Let's go.